Good evening to all my brothers and sisters out there. I hope you don't woke up this morning, you done had your coffee and did whatever you had to do. But I need to talk some real talk today, and I just need to educate a lot of people, especially minority people, on a very serious topic that a lot of them don't know anything about. I mean, these are survivors of what they call the Black Wall Street. Do you know anything about the Black Wall Street? Do you know what happened in Oklahoma and Greenwood? Well, again, these are stories that don't need to be told, but nobody tells these stories. In 1921, Tulsa Race Massacre, one of the darkest chapters in American history. And you got to understand when you look at it, you have to be one of the darkest and the worst thing that any Black America can receive. And it was devastated and thriving community Greenwood. And this place was known as the Black Wall Street, where all the black business, they had banks, anything you name, they had their own little area. But the white people burnt it down. But let me get into the story. I mean, when the survivors of this tragedy, however, they displayed remarkable resilience. I mean, they were determined to rebuild and keep the legacy of the Black Wall Street. And it preserved the community legacy. The article dives into an account. These are some of the survivors. I mean, they can witness about what took place because they was there, but unfortunately they survived. But when you understand the story, wait until I get into the darkest part of it. They offering a glimpse into the human experience that defined Greenwood before, during, and after the masquerade. Ladies, educate. These are things that they don't want to put in the history book. But when you say during the masquerade, the stories not only honor the memories of those who endure, but also had a vital lesson on resilience, justice, and endure power in the community. You must understand. Teach your kids about the Black Wall Street. Some of them may not care, but we got to keep our history going. I mean, we can't let them erase these dark days in our history. Come on. I mean, when you're looking at Oliver Hooker, he was a trailblazer for justice. You okay? Dr. Oliver Hooker was one of the youngest survivors of the Tulsa Race Massacre. He was one of the youngest, and he experienced unimaginable trauma at just 6 years old. I mean, when you witness it, I mean, when you're young, that young, I mean, when you're devastated, this can create trauma in your life. And I want you to please understand this. Now, his family homes and his father's successful clothing store were destroyed in a violent. Well, who destroyed it? These white hatred groups in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And you know what I'm saying? And Hooker vividly recalled watching white mob ramshack and burn her neighborhood. The memory that would stay in her life until she died. These are memories you cannot erase. These are memories that we got to educate our kids and tell them that what they were doing back then is what they're trying to do to us today. And that's one of the reasons why education is a must. And I just need you to please educate. And despite this earlier adversity, Hooker's life became a shining example of resilience and achievement. And guess what the girl did? She spoke, she broke barriers in the first African American woman to serve in the U.S. Coast Guard. Remember the name, Dr. Hooker. Resiliency. She strived to be the best and did not allow anything to despise her. She demonstrated her commitment to serve and excellence. But guess what? Later on, she earned a doctorate in psychology, dedicating her career to understanding and how she learned to support other people. She resilient, was determined to be someone. And I would say this to you, to all my brothers and sisters. Whenever your mind can conceive and believe, you can achieve anything. But you cannot allow distraction to hold you back. If you determine to get to the top, you got to be resilient, determined. And they're going to require a lot of commitment. And you know, and I just need you to understand Hooker's advocate extended beyond a professional life. She became a supporter of justice for the survivors of the Greenwood. Tireless working to ensure the masquerade history was recognized and remembered. You see what she did? She was resilient. Regardless of what the white people done to that town, she did not let fear, intimidation hold her back. I call that resilient. I don't know what you call it. And you know what I'm saying? Her legacy continues to inspire effort toward equalities and justice, reminding us to the enduring powers of resilience and determination. As I said, and when you read about it. That's resilient. We have to be resilient. We cannot be afraid to talk about our history. You must understand, with this white supremacist running the White House, he's trying to take you back. We came too far. That's why they don't want all this in the history book. And another person, Elias Walker Wood, rebuilding through education. Remember that name. And you're going to understand we have some resilient people. Edwin Wood, he was the principal of Booker T. Washington High School in Tulsa during that time when they had that Tulsa Race Massacre. He was the principal at Booker T. Washington. And you must understand that had to be the darkest moment. He witnessed firsthand devastation upon Greenwood, the destructions of home, business, and institution deeply affected his students and their family, leaving many displaced and without hope. They burned the whole town down. The white people burned the town because of hatred. But we don't want to put that in the history book. Let's put all the white famous people in the history book. Black people don't exist. They don't deserve to be recognized. I mean, you must understand, despite what Ellen went through it, despite these overwhelming challenges, Wood emerged as a pillar of resilience and leadership in the community. And that's what we need to have in our community today. We need strong leaders, the one that got a strong backbone, and they're going to stand up for justice and stop allowing certain things to just go down in your community. Teach your kids teach them about our history. If they don't want to teach it in school, why can't you teach it? That's my question to you. And I'm going to say this to you. Some of that Booker T. Ellis, and he was recognized in the critical roles of education played in the recovery and empowerment. He fought for education for the black people. But you understand that Tulsa Race Massacre burnt down the whole town. And you must understand, Wood immediately began his effort to reopen the high school, operating in temporary facilities and with limited resources. He remained steadfast to his mission to provide a stable and a nurturing learning environment that is resilient. Ain't no stopping him now, because he kept pushing. And which is a lot of things that what we as black men, as leaders, keep pushing. Don't never stop pushing. When you stop pushing, that's when the wheels stop rolling. And when I say to you, and it's imperative that we teach our kids everything we need to know about our forefathers of slavery, how far we came, where we're at, and what these many years later they're trying to take us back. We're dealing with difficult times now. Wood believed that education was more than a tool of personal advantage. It was a cornerstone for collective resilience by fostering a sense of purpose and opportunity among his students. He helped lay the groundwork for Greenwood partial recoveries of school years later of the masquerade. I mean, they were determined to rebuild Greenwood despite the devastation that they received. And his legacy as an educator and a community leader underscored the transformative powers of knowledge and determination to face diversity. That's what we got to be. All of us Black, we must learn to be resilient. We must stand up for what we believe in and stop falling for a lot of you know what. There was another guy that talked about, his name was George Monroe, a child perspective. George Monroe was just only 5 years old when his family home was consumed by the flame of the Tulsa Race. 5 years old. Can you imagine a kid, 5 years old, looking at his house being burned down by white racist skinheads? You name it, it was all about cover up. Read about the Wall Street, Black Wall Street. And I'm going to say to you, and I say to her, and he was too young to fully understand the event unfolding around him. But as a child, man, there's some things you just don't forget. When I say that Monroe most vivid memory was of his family hiding beneath their porch, seeking refuge from the violence. Above him, the mob rampaged through Greenwood, destroying homes and business while gunfire erupted in the air. That's a form of intimidation. You must understand, they call it white power. Look at some of these states. You're going to be treated less than an animal in places where that Black people is not acceptable in their town and state. And decades later, and Monroe recounted the terror of that night. He's sharing what he felt as a child in sight of a flame of engulfing. When he see the neighborhood was engulfed into flame. I mean, that got to be devastating to anyone, not only a kid. His story provided a unique and perspective on the human cost of the masquerade. Do you know anything about it now? Tulsa. So when you understand often the windows into how such a violent impact even the youngest members of the community was affected by it. Now we're talking about real talk. People don't want to talk about these things, and the young people don't know about it, and a lot of young people don't care about it. But we have to, and Monroe reflection serve as a sober reminder of the generation trauma afflicted by the masquerade. His testimony showed that the experience of the most vulnerable are not forgotten. Are we going to talk about this? We're going to erase our history book. Do you care about what took place in these little towns and cities? Do you care? Are you going to educate your kids, or you just don't care? I'm going to say this. The endurance need to confront and learn from the painful chapters of history. These are resilient individuals. W.D. Williams, a voice for generational, spoke up. William, the son of Greenwood resident who owned a theater in the confectionery store. He was a teenager during the time of this Tulsa Race Massacre. His family business symbolized of their hard work and success. It was among the countless establishments destroyed during the attack. They destroyed the whole town. Can you imagine? Your whole town got burned down by hatred white group. We had your own banks. If you don't watch what's going on, them same hatred group is still around today. They don't want to see you succeed. They want to keep you down. And the people that's in charge, they part of the problem also. I just need you to understand is that, I mean, when you look at how, despite losing everything, the Williams family exemplified resilience and determined, refused to let the devastation erase their legacy. I mean, you got to stand up, man. If you say nothing, that's part of the objective. We need to keep our Black history alive. Teach our kids about the things that was done to us. But we are treated less. We build America. We build this country off slavery. But we are not appreciated among certain groups. And we need to continue, determined to ensure that the stories of Greenwood and his people will never be forgotten. Keep talking about it. Because if you want to talk about it, they're going to continue. They want it erased. Trump administration want everything erased. William became a tireless advocate for justice and historical preservation. Through public speaking engagement, interviews, and community activists, he shared his personal account of the massacre, shedding light on the systematic racism that fueled the tragedy. This thing been going on for a long time, people. I mean, this William, he was resilient. And William's effort was instrumental in bringing attention to the experience of the survivors and the broader implications of the massacre. Bring this to their attention. Don't sit back under fear. Be able to talk about looking at your town, people getting burnt up. I mean, think about it. Teach your kids about this, about the importance of knowing the resilience of those who passed on and the one who's still alive to talk about it. And I'm not going to, by keeping the memories of the Black Wall Street alive, he not only honored the resilience of his family and the community, but also to contribute to the ongoing fight for racial justice and equality. His voice remained a vital part of the effort to ensure the lessons of Greenwood rise and fall continue to inspire future generations. We need to continue to keep this ball rolling, because to expand on what was going down during that time, we got to keep our kids informed about the resiliency, the people in the Black Wall Street, how they recover, how they preserving their legacy when the white people want to burn it down and put apartment buildings over it. You understand what they're doing out there? Let's burn it down and let's let the state take over. Come on, Joanna Burnett, a family loss and rebuilding. Remember the name, Joanna Burnett. Joanna Burnett was a teenager during the time of this Tulsa Race Massacre. She was just only a teenager. I want you to visualize a teenager. Her family ran a thriving grocery store in Greenwood, which was the central hub of the community. I mean, it was Black Wall Street on the grocery stores. Blacks had their own everything, but these racist white people burned it down. Burnett recalled the night of chaos when she and her family fled their homes as flames consumed their business. Despite of the devastation, her family worked tirelessly to rebuild their life in the aftermath, becoming advocate for justice and community restoration. That's resilient. Don't allow these white haters to destroy our history. We've been through a lot. Why would we keep talking about this? And I'm going to say this, and I mean it. And, when you look at Burnett, your story highlight the determination of survivors to persevere to rebuild. Even in the face of an unimaginable loss, her account add depth to the collective memories of the Greenwood resilience. Those black people were determined to preserve the place where the white mob burned down. Now, people don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it. Frederick Goodwin, an entrepreneur perspective. And so you got to understand Frederick Goodwin. He owned a barbershop in Greenwood that served as both the business and gathering place for the community discussion. When the masquerade erupted, Frederick Goodwin and his employee tried to save the shop, but was forced to flee as violence intensified. He had to leave his barbershop. This is how they intensified. And they was burning down, they was shooting and killing. But people don't want to talk about that. But these are resilient people that Goodman's story, he passed down through his descendants. He emphasized the importance of small business in Greenwood and a significant loss endured in the community. We're not going to talk about that no more? Why we don't want to talk about it? We're talking about, all these Confederate flags. But you're not going to talk about the damage that you caused black people and what you keep trying to do now. Goodman's legacy reminds us of the virtual role black-owned business played in the economic success of Black Wall Street. And Sarah Page. Remember, Sarah Page, she was a witness of this history. And when we talking about Sarah Page's name is often mentioned in discussion about the Tulsa race. Understand, it's mentioned. Due to her indirect roles of the event leading up to this tragedy. As a young elevator operator in downtown Tulsa, an incident involving her and a young black man, Dick Rosen, was falsely reported, ignited racial tension that escalated into violence. You see what I'm saying? Racism, still today, is a deadly disease. Racism anywhere is racism everywhere. And while Page's personal story remained relatively obscure, her involvement underscored the power of misinformation and systematic prejudice in fueling conflicts. Her narrative served as a critical reminder of the broader social and racial dynamic that contribute to the masquerade, highlighting the need for accuracy, history, and accountability. Why are they not talking about it? Why are they not putting this in the schools? Why do they want to not put Black history in school? Because they should feel damn guilty about what they've done and what they're trying to do to the Black people. And the enduring legacy of survival story. And I just need you to understand something. The personal story of the Black Wall Street survivors are invaluable testimonies to the human cost of the Tulsa Race Massacre and the resilience of those who endured it. And they can able to survive and talk about what happened to the Black Wall Street. And these narratives remind us of the importance of preserving history, advocating for justice, and celebrating the strength of the human spirit. Black people, you are resilient. You got determination, commitment, motivation. When you got that, can't nobody stop you. But I'm saying to me, I'm saying to all my brothers and sisters, is that when you look at all of these people that are able to talk about it, by sharing the experience, survival like Olivia Hooker, Ella Walker Wood, George Monroe, and W.D. Williams has illuminated the lesson of the Greenwood race and fall, rise and fall. Now, what else you want to know about this gig? Because I'm going to tell you, this is about real talk. People want us to not to educate our kids about what the white hate group did to the black. Read up about it. Teach your kids. Ask them what do they know about the Black Wall Street. Ask them, do they know anything about the Tulsa Race Massacre? They don't know what you're talking about. And this is where we come in at. And we cannot overlook this. And my question is, how do you feel? How do you feel if that happened to your town? How would you feel if all your kids young and people come in there shooting the town up, killing people, burning everything in sight? How would you feel? If you feel bad about it, well, why you don't want to talk about it? Because when you are guilty of the crime, it's much easier for you to overlook. We don't want to discuss that. We don't want to discuss that. We don't want to bring this into the black kids' history room because it might start a riot. Yeah, you're right. It should start a riot. It's letting you know that we on the outside, we are human beings to let white people know how we feel. We got a heart just like they have a heart. But in their mind, they is the only people that need to exist around. African minority, as far as the white people today, they can care less whether you live or die. And this is why, if we don't learn to work together, stick together, and educate our kids together, we're going to go further and further and further back down the road. All you community leaders, if you say you're a leader, well, lead by setting an example. There's a difference between a winner and a loser in the community. A winner always make things happen, and a loser let it happen. Are you ready to fight the battle? Are you ready to reprogram the black community and empower them and teach them real world situation? We don't need to teach them how to go out there, rob, kill, and steal, and do all that. Because the way the system is designed to do what they're doing. But we can overcome that. Charity begins at home. Teach your kids about where they came from. Teach your kids where you came from. Teach your kids them how your parents grew up. But if you don't educate them, they can care less. They'll become dumbfounded because nobody have taught them the history of the Black Wall Street. No one ever taught them but all the slavery. People don't care about that. People don't care about how all the white people was hanging these Negroes by the neck, and they still doing it in these Oklahoma, Alabama, Mississippi. They still doing it. Racism is real. Racism is real in America. It's been like this all along. But guess what? It used to be they camouflage themselves. They don't have to camouflage them. They coming out ready and open. Yeah, I'm racist. I hate you. I wish you die. I wish we can kill you. These are the kind of people that we live around. Well, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to entertain it? Are you going to allow fear of intimidation to cause you to back down? Or are you going to stand up like all these resilient people in the Black Wall Street? They're resilient. They did not allow this distraction to hold them back. Are you afraid to stand up for your race? Are you afraid that you're going to lose everything that you have if you teach your kids about slavery, Black history, what they are faced with today? You need, I need, all minority people need to teach your kids about Black history. That's the only thing they want to put in the school is white history. That's all they want. You got the Department of Education. They determine what books should be taught in the schools. Black books are not allowed. Slavery books are not allowed. They want to keep you dumbfounded where you won't never understand our history. All you got to do, you got eyes to see, you got ears to hear. Again, don't be blind. Don't be ignorant of what is being taken place. Because if you don't continue, our history is going to be erased. Draw his pen. What are we going to do? Are we going to join forces? Are we going to start an organization about Black history and have an organization and get together and educate our kids? Invite them to a one-hour session. Treat them. We can do it. We can do it, America. We can do it, Black people. All you got to do is believe in yourself. Believe that you can make a difference. Believe that one person can make a difference. One person can change an election. One person can change the world. Are you willing to be that person? That be able to stand up what you believe in? Are you going to fight for your culture? I'm just asking the question. I hope that you'll be able to pass this along. As I said to you, when you see this on my YouTube, on Facebook, whatever, it might flash it for a minute, but I'm telling you to go to my YouTube channel and hit the dislike, notification button, and please make your comments on my Facebook page, and please join and follow me everywhere I go, because this is about real talk. May God bless you and keep you. Until we meet again, it's about real talk. It's about Black history. It's God to strengthen you, which He have already. In Jesus' name, we pray.